What if Stormtroopers Could Aim Part 2, and I'm not going to do a recap, so pause this video and go to the comments and click click on the link, and that'll be part 1. Alright, let's begin. Along with the Stormtroopers, Sidious, or Palpatine, whatever you want to call him, he sent out the Grand Inquisitor because he found out it was just a kid, thought the Grand Inquisitor could easily take him down. Meanwhile, Luke was in shock. What had he done? And he felt horrible. But then he heard a voice, Obi-Wan, and he said one word, Dagobah. And Luke didn't know if this was reality or imagination, but he remembered the Force and thought maybe this is the Force speaking to me. And he set his course to Dagobah and informed Senator Organa right before. Obi-Wan's ghost spoke to Yoda. Yoda was sad, but also happy that Obi-Wan was free from his burdens and everything. And Yoda, after a long debate, said yes, he would train Luke in the ways of the Force and would wait for his arrival. Meanwhile, Palpatine asked the Grand Inquisitor how the hunt was going, and the Grand Inquisitor said, I can't find them. And that was because Dagobah was the dark side planet. I mean, the dark side flowed in that planet. So even if a Jedi went there and used the Force, Palpatine and the Empire would not be able to trace it because of the dark side presence. So Luke and Yoda were safe. Luke was not tested by Yoda this time because Luke had no idea why he was going to Dagobah, because he was just a beginner in the Force, and he just started using it. So Yoda told him that he was Obi-Wan's friend, and that he was Grandmaster Yoda, the head of the Jedi Order. And Luke was shocked. He asked about his father, and Yoda told him everything about his father and the Jedi, and it was nice. And Yoda was telling him that it's time for him to train, and that he will help him communicate with Obi-Wan again. And the training began. Weeks, months, years all went by. Luke became more powerful each day. He specialized in Form 4, and he had to use the forbidden method to make his lightsaber because the Empire was getting control of kyber crystals. So he formed a purple lightsaber holding the dark side and the light side within him. And I said Form 4, right? He specialized in Form 4. His lightsaber hilt was curved but heavier, so it would be elegant, but each hit would be more powerful. And Luke found peace, but he also felt anger. And Yoda trained him differently. He taught him to embrace the anger, but not let him consume him. And soon, Luke was able to talk to Obi-Wan, and they helped him train more and more and more. And soon, he was ready. Yoda and Obi-Wan decided to test him first. They knew about the threat on Luke because of Obi-Wan. So the task was to eliminate the Grand Inquisitor and his forces, which they knew Luke could do easily, but they just wanted to test him. At this time, the Grand Inquisitor was on Kashyyyk trying to find Luke still because the Emperor was threatening to kill him. And soon, Luke met him, and the Grand Inquisitor was overjoyed. He still thought Luke was weak, so he decided to just toy with him. But soon he found his true power and pulled out both his lightsabers and started attacking him. But Luke was just testing his abilities, and soon the Grand Inquisitor did the spinning move, and Luke just destroyed his lightsaber by putting his in the center. and soon he killed the Grand Inquisitor. But hundreds of the best stormtroopers came, and Luke just defeated them in less than 2 minutes. After his success, Luke went back to Dagobah to find a sick Yoda, and it wasn't that long, but Yoda was getting super old, and Luke decided to let him go. But he wasn't sad because he could still talk to him. If he needed advice, he could see him still. It was just the same. Then Luke decided to go confront the Emperor. They were building the Death Star. They were building Death Star 2, the second Death Star, and it was hard because of the shield, but Luke got help because of Senator Organa. A small team helped destroy the shield generator, and Luke was down there with them to help. It was very fast when Luke was there, and then he took his X-Wing and went. The Emperor sensed it and smiled. He decided to test Luke's abilities. He set stormtroopers on every single level, and on the level right before him, those are his personal guards, which were super powerful, more powerful than the Grand Inquisitor, in fact. And Luke was taking out waves after waves after waves after waves, and he was destroying every single person in sight, and also the droids. I don't know why he destroyed the droids. He just destroyed the droids. I don't know why. And he destroyed every single one of them. Oh, and if you're wondering about R2-D2 and C-3PO, and those Senator Organa had the droids. So, yeah. Anyway, back on topic, he was taking out every single waves and finally got to the guards. But there's a twist. With the guards, there were Starkiller's clone, and Luke easily just took down the guards. But Starkiller was a challenge, so Luke had to embrace the dark side. He hurled objects at Starkiller, but Starkiller was just dodging them. Starkiller was powerful, very powerful. The Emperor sensed this, and he was smiling. But Luke did not give up. He embraced the dark side so hard that he crushed that room from the inside, and Starkiller got destroyed. But there was a hole in the ship, and Luke was running out of air. Because, as I said, he destroyed that room. So he had to use a force method that Yoda taught him, and he barely survived that. But his next step was the Emperor, and judging by Starkiller's power, he knew the Emperor would be even more difficult, so Luke had to come up with a plan. Luke knew that he would probably die, and there were X-Wings coming to destroy this ship. And they had very good pilots and would do it quick. So Luke would either try to stall Palpatine or Sidious, and try to kill him. Luke was going to embrace the dark side harder than he ever thought. He made sure that it didn't consume him, but he used it to his advantage. But before Luke went to go confront Palpatine, he reached out to Obi-Wan and Yoda quickly, and they were comforting him, and they taught him one final thing. They taught him Force Judgment, which was basically Force Lightning, but a little weaker. But they thought this would at least help Luke a little bit. Luke went and confronted Palpatine, and Palpatine tried to shoot Force Lightning, but Luke blocked it using the Force, and Luke shot out Force Judgment, which Palpatine barely blocked. Palpatine saw his power and tried to manipulate him, but to no use, so Palpatine used the lightning again, but Luke used his judgment against him, but the Force lightning was too powerful and hit Luke. Palpatine pulled out both of his lightsabers and started laughing and attacked Luke. Because if you're wondering about one of the lightsaber that fell out of his hand during his fight with Mace Windu, he had a third lightsaber. Luke got up and fought him. It was a fierce duel, and Palpatine was winning. But they both sensed that the Death Star was going to be blown up soon, and Palpatine was trying to fight Luke and run away, but Luke made sure he didn't. Palpatine knew that there would be no escape with Luke fighting him, so he wanted to end this quickly. Palpatine was a master of all 7 lightsaber forms and decided to use Form 3 right now to attack Luke. And Palpatine was on the defensive waiting for Luke to make a mistake, but Luke made no mistakes. So he switched to Form 5. Form 5 was difficult for Luke, but he managed barely. And Palpatine's strikes got stronger and stronger and stronger. And Luke knew that he would probably lose this duel. But he kept going long enough for the Death Star to explode. And soon they heard something. The Death Star was blowing up. Palpatine tried to escape, but Luke used the Force. Used the Force to block him. And when he saw the fire, he threw Palpatine in it, burning him. And Luke knew that he would die, so he became one with the Force and disappeared from his body. And that's it for today.